And now, Fab Skin Hot Bodies with your host, world-renowned dermatologist, Dr. Jeanette Graf.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jeanette Graf, and I want to welcome everyone to Fab Skin Hot Bodies. It's time for your weekly prescription for beauty, lifestyle, and everything nothing less than awesome. And I'm really excited because we have a guest today, a celebrity fashion stylist, Alexandra Suzanne Greenawalt. I wish I could tell you, but her photo shoot styling work, I'm not going to cover enough of it, but she's been in Japanese Vogue, New York Times, In Style Magazine, Marie Claire, Surface Magazine. She's been on television. She's been on all sorts of media outlets, and she is an author. And Alexandra, what is the name of your newest book?
My latest book is called Love What You Wear, Mastering Your Style in Multiple Homes, and it's actually my third book.
Okay, tell us your other two books.
So my second book is called Vetted by a Stylist, and it's all of the top style resources in New York City.
Fantastic.
And then my first book was Secrets of a Fashion Stylist, and that was sort of like a guide how to break into the industry.
And that's a great name for a first book. And I've got to tell you all something, because it's, you know, what really, I like the quirky things in people. And so I'm reading this phenomenal bio, and, you know, Alexandra has a Fifth Avenue atelier, which is so Coco Chanel. I loved it. I said, oh, she doesn't have a boutique. She has an atelier. And what really got me is that one of the things she likes to do on the side is stand-up comedy. And I love that. So, because I'll tell you why. Fashion for me and styling for me, just the thought of having to buy a new item of clothing is often not funny. So what I'd like you to do during this conversation is help me inject some humor into getting new style.
Well, it can absolutely be fun and funny experience. I find myself laughing with my clients all the time.
Well, that's great. I want to, first of all, congratulate you on your book and thank you for the copy. What is this book about?
Love What You Wear.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine that you live in Manhattan, which you do, but you also have a house in the Hamptons, and then you spend your summers in Palm Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a great life, right? But you could never find your absolute favorite sweater. And this may sound like a hashtag quality problem, but to someone that's living with it, the logistics become a little bit too overwhelming. So I found that a lot of my clients were multiple residence owners, and they were all experiencing the same core issue. So it's a love letter to those women.
Now, how do you handle it if you have only one resident? You've got a small apartment in Brooklyn somewhere. You have all 4 seasons.
I can work with that too.
Okay. Well, I think, you know, that describes a large part of our listeners. So
Yes.
how do we work with that?
Well, but how many of us have like hectic lives?
All of us, pretty much.
Exactly. All of us women these days, we are not sitting home knitting.
Well, I know somebody that does, but she does a lot of other things. The first time I learned how to knit, it was a scarf. It was always a scarf, and it kept on shrinking. So I gave up knitting and started buying my scarves. But that's really fantastic. How did you become a stylist?
It was a very long journey, Jeanette, but it was a lot of fun. I was a very creative child, I think I'd mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
I did ballet, I did photography, I did art. And growing up, I didn't actually know that a stylist was a job. I knew about fashion magazines, but I played dress up every day. And then when I got out of college, somehow I found out about getting an image consulting certification, and so I did that, and then I literally just started draping all of my friends and family.
That's the best way to do things. You know,
Just start doing it.
when someone asks me, because I did an interview, because I'm getting profiled in a magazine, and they're saying, what would you tell young people today? I'd say, find out what you love to do.
Yeah.
And then make a job of it. Create your own job
Yeah.
around that. And that's really what you did.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question. Is there a difference between style and fashion?
A huge difference. And actually, I wanted to correct you in the beginning, but I held myself back because
go for it.
I consider myself an expert in personal style. I'm a personal stylist today. Yes, my background is in fashion styling, but I no longer do that kind of work because to me, fashion is what designers want you to buy every season. They just want you to buy, and they want you to look, I think,
Great
not
point.
so attractive. But style is timeless, style is innate, and style can be revealed. So I think once you have your style nailed, you can build a wardrobe and really live off of that wardrobe for quite a while.
Having said that, and that's a really excellent point because I look at some of these runways and I go, oh, God.
Yeah, would you wear that? Would you wear that? I'm always going, what are they doing like now?
I mean, style is about comfort. Everyone
Yes.
has their own personal style. So we evolve, and it evolves based on your lifestyle, based on everything. Obviously, popular fashion trends don't work for people. So what is your advice for the listener out there? What is the one most important thing that they should be doing in order to find their style?
They should really be getting to know themselves. Getting to know what colors make their face glow, getting to know their body shape, and not just this pear hourglass bullshit, because the system that can I say that on there?
Of course you can.
Okay.
There are no filters here. You say whatever you want.
Anyways,
The raunchier, the better.
all right, I said bullshit. I'm going to own it.
Own it.
So the system that I use has actually 48 different body types, not 4 to 5.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very, very precise system because it factors in not only, yes, your hip to shoulder to waist ratio, but also how tall you are and what you weigh. So knowing all of this, getting, I think, at least one session with an image consultant is one of the best things that you can do to have them diagnose the best colors for you and the best shapes. Because with that knowledge, you can shop anywhere.
So in New York, they can talk to you.
Absolutely, I'm here.
Do you ever do Skype?
Yes,
Are you able
I
to do Skype with people?
I'm able to Skype with people. However, I do think the color analysis part is best done in person because you need natural light.
Describe your typical client for me.
Well, women only. I don't take any male clients anymore. I would say most of them are age 35 to 60, and they all share a very common thread, and that's that they are doing fantastic, exciting things with their lives. So fashion often style takes a back seat. They come to me because they're wearing like 20% of their closet, and they're frustrated, and getting dressed isn't fun for them, and they're stuck, and maybe their body has changed.
Well, that's a really interesting point because you've just described me to a large extent. I wear probably less than 20% of my closet, and I have drawers, and I was looking back. This is just changing topic altogether because I was looking at the styles of the decades, and they kind of go with the economy. So I went back to the 20s where we had the flappers, and then the 30s where Katharine Hepburn, with the gray suits, and it was the Great Depression. So our styles kind of changed with the time. My favorite were the 80s, because I was a big Dynasty fan. I always wanted to be Alexis Carrington.
Oh, who
and I would
didn't?
wear those giant shoulder pads with the sequins and the cylinder hats and just flit in. Blake, I'll have my house back. For those of you who ever watched Dynasty, if you've never seen Dynasty, I suggest you do because those were the good old days.
Well, I grew up with a grandmother who dressed like she was on Dynasty, so
I did too.
had so much style inspiration growing up.
Well, I wanted to be Joan Collins in Dynasty in another life. Not Crystal, I'm not a blonde, but I wanted to be Alexis Carrington. And even down to the cigarette holder without the cigarette, because it just made her look complete.
Yes.
What do you do when you have wearing 20% of your closet? What are some tips for decluttering?
So when you're wearing 20% of your closet, absolutely the number one thing you should start doing is detoxing. And you should be taking out anything in your closet that doesn't feel like you now. Like it feels like an old you.
But you say to yourself, oh my God, I spent so much money on this and it's vintage Terry Mugler. And do I really want to give this away even though it's got vertical pinstripes and it's red and I never wore it?
But imagine if you gave it away to somewhere that it was actually going to be used and worn. Wouldn't you feel better about that?
Oh, absolutely. But you know, the whole thing is, because purging is really great. And I actually took out 6 bags of clothing, and they have to pick up. So there are services that will pick it up, and it was like I didn't make a dent. You know? So
It's a marathon sport.
It's a marathon sport. That's so important because you're so right. We only do wear 20% of our closet at one time.
It's super common. Even I'm getting detoxed next week. I scheduled for my own closet detox session and apartment detox session.
Okay, so you just said that, and you're the master of detox.
Yeah,
do you
and
have
I still
somebody,
practice it myself.
Do you have somebody do it with you? Are you accountable to anyone? Tell us, how do you do it? How do we get started?
I usually do it myself, but next week I'm bringing in the big guns.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think it's better to have someone else there holding space for your success. I think you do more with someone else saying, oh, you're not going to wear that, or you should store that, or, you know, another mind in the room.
In my case, it's my husband who said, do you need this? He's my husband, so I say, would you just leave me alone right now? I can't deal with this.
Okay, trusted friend. I'm going to revise. Not anyone, not someone off of the street. Trusted friend, advisor, or stylist, or expert, or professional.
I think I would be embarrassed if people saw the way my shoes were like laying around in one of my closets.
What? I've seen it all. Are you kidding? I've got a great story for you. I had a client once. She was a stripper. She spent the whole session in a thong because that was her comfortable state.
I actually had a patient who was a stripper who was sewing G-strings in my waiting room all the time. And I'll tell you, she was the most fun patient that I ever had. I mean, she was hysterical.
Yeah. Because she was so comfortable.
Yeah, but she wasn't wearing the G-string in the waiting room. She was
not.
just sewing
she was just
them.
Sewing them. She's like, I got to get my sew on.
Well, it was one of the things that she did. You know, she was an entrepreneur. So, you know.
So she had a little thong business, a little side thong business.
Yeah.
Nice. Entrepreneurial.
And
Gotta hustle.
She said to me, you look like one of my friends. Would you want one? I said, in my wildest dreams, I would be afraid to even dream about it.
So you're anti-thong, Jeanette?
No, I'm not.
Are you pro-thong?
I'm pro-thong.
Okay.
I think once you have a thong that's comfortable,
Yes.
you can't go back.
Yes.
There's no going back. I just wouldn't wear a thong without pants on top of it. Publicly.
Okay, neither would I. Can you imagine if I, as a stylist, showed up naked or showed up as a thong? Like I
think in the right place.
In my birthday suit?
In the right place, in a striptease joint or some places in Vegas, that could work.
Right? The naked stylist?
I love that. That's your next book.
Well, I actually was working for a very long time on a comedy show about all of my experience going to the nudist places like Harbin Hot Springs in California, and how I would feel like a fish out of water because I was so used to like putting women in clothes, and then I was in these environments where everyone was naked.
I'm afraid to ask.
I was expected to be naked, and I was sort of like very still attached to my clothes. Like I wanted to be like free and feel free, but it was a challenge for me.
So I have to ask, how did you happen to end up at these places?
It was a self-care journey, really. I'm a water junkie and I love Watsu, and I heard that those were the best places to get Watsus, but you literally get Watsus with
What's a Watsu?
It's a water massage.
Oh, okay.
So you're in like
I learned.
Yeah, so that was what my whole show was about. I haven't performed it yet, but
I think that's awesome. So now we've talked about not being in clothes. So let's get back into some clothing.
Yes, because we're in New York, the land of wearing clothes.
Well, you said that you don't work with men anymore.
No.
How come?
I felt like as a woman, I can really serve women because I understand being a woman. Mm-hmm. I felt like when I was with my male clients, there was like a barrier, like I couldn't really understand. Like I could, like intellectually understand what it was like to be a man, but I couldn't really like from my deep core. And then there were a couple instances where I felt like my male clients really wanted to date me, and I just wanted to be professional.
Okay.
In my work.
That could be awkward. That could be
Yeah.
awkward, but I must say some of the best colors that I've ever seen are in men's shirts. And I can't find a lot of them
absolutely.
in women's clothing, and I find that unfair
So why don't you buy some men's clothes and just wear them?
because well, I'll tell you, honestly, I like men's cologne. Mm-hmm. So I wear men's cologne because, women's cologne is a little too sweet and fruity for me. But I wear my husband's socks all the time. I wear some of his shirts.
But clean ones, clean ones.
Always.
Okay.
But I'm too lazy. I'm not going to go buy socks. There are people that I know, though, who they live
you're
for their
hectic.
socks.
You're hectic.
Yeah, but they live for their socks, and I admire their socks because they have all those funky little designs on them. So,
But there's no reason as a woman. I used to buy teenage boy jeans when I was younger because I had no hips. I mean, clothing is clothing.
yeah.
You don't really have to hold yourself back.
So
If you find some men's stuff, I give you my permission.
thank you.
My seal of approval. Get creative.
Well, I wear his shirts. I wear his sweatshirts.
You're right
so-
about the men's colors, though. Sometimes I'm like, oh, damn, that's beautiful
Yeah.
blue.
and that's my color. Mm-hmm. But it's not tailored for me. That's the problem. They're
So
not.
take it to your tailor.
I have one.
What? Say that again?
Well,
you don't have one?
I have a tailor who fixes clothing that I already have. But if you
Yes.
get a man tailored shirt,
Yeah.
it's it's just too much. I can't.
Yeah, you could add some princess seaming here and add some seaming in the back.
in
And
my excess time.
well, that's why you get a stylist.
Yeah, you're right. Now, do you have a particular method when it comes to styling someone new?
I do.
Walk us through the process.
I do, Jeanette. So I have a very precise process that I've been honing and perfecting for the last 16 years. And it starts with something I call the style prescription. And in this style prescription appointment, we go over what colors and what shapes look best on you for you. And then step 2 is the bra fitting, foundational wear, because without the right foundations, nothing's going to look right.
And that is such a great point because I have always said there are 2 items of clothing that should never be one size fits all: shoes and bras.
Yeah. It's an inside out job.
Yeah. And breast sizes are different, left to right. And I see a lot of issues as a dermatologist in skin
Absolutely.
based on poorly fitted bras.
Absolutely. And then step 3 is the closet detox, which we spoke about earlier, which is really important because from that detox session, we find out what is missing in the wardrobe and we create the wardrobe master plan so that at step 4, when you go shopping, you have an idea of what you need and there is a real strategy behind this shopping. It's not just willy-nilly. And the client walks into a lovely dressing room, fully curated for her needs. So she doesn't have to wander or spend any time wondering, oh, do I get this size or that size? I do that all for her. And then after I find during around the midway point, the client is often asking for something else like, I don't like my nails, or I don't like my hair, or I don't know how to do my makeup, or I don't know how to do my hair. And so anything else that she needs, like sometimes they just need a lesson in how to make some new hairstyles or a lesson in how to do her own makeup. So I get them that. And then step 6 is really exciting because we go back into the closet and style everything that we've gotten, the new stuff with the old stuff together. And we take pictures and make outfits and put together a lookbook so that then she has this wonderful lookbook that she can refer to when she doesn't know what to wear.
Okay, well, that brings me to my question of how long do you typically, and this is a hard question to answer, I know, because everyone's different.
Yes.
How long do you typically work with clients?
So
Are they recurring? Are they seasonal? Are they one time or?
really depends, but I would say the average client signs up for a style reinvention, and that's the process that I just described, and that tends to be about around 6 to 8 sessions. Now, an average client will come to me once a week, so that takes about 2 months to do, and that's considered a seasonal update or style for a season. So most clients will do that package, and then they'll wear everything, look fabulous, feel confident, and then they'll come back to me next season for another round of sorting, shopping, and styling. I would say average client, I'm working with her for about a year, sometimes longer. Some of them stay with me for years. Some of them learn so much that first season and they get such a bang for their buck. They get such timeless classic pieces that they actually graduate and they shop for themselves and they're like, you changed my life forever. And
I know that you have worked with some major publics, some celebrities. You've worked with Jennifer Hudson. You've worked with Duran Duran, Alexandra Bennett. I mean, you really are. You're like at the top of your game, and I've learned a lot from you because I am now inspired that I'm going to have to do a detox. And I don't know if it's going to start with my shoes, but it's probably going to start with my closet.
yes,
If I haven't worn it in 2 years, it goes.
yes. Or if it doesn't fit, or if it's not the right color, or if it's dated, or if it feels energetically
See,
like
dated
someone
is
else.
tough because
Dated
things
is really
come
tough.
back. The shoulder pads are coming back. I mean, I will always have that. I will be channeling that Alexis Carrington.
But just because it comes back, do you really want to bring it back?
It's a good point.
Do you really want to put those things back on?
I don't
Because
want that cylindrical hat. No.
sometimes you put that stuff back on and you're like, oh, I know that this was working at one time, but I'm not sure. You know, it's that uncertainty. Like when I'm working with a client and we find something that looks amazing on her, her face lights up. She's like, ah! You know,
It's
she's
that
like
aha
she's
moment.
like this explosion of joy, okay? And then when she puts on something that she's like meh about, I see it in her face. Her face is like, I don't know. And the thing is you want that explosion of joy every day
Yeah.
because it's like a drug and it's going to help you do more, talk to more people, be more you.
So I would say probably the most important thing to start off is to know the color that works on you.
Color and also the shapes.
Yeah.
Because when we go shopping, there's like a criteria. It doesn't go home with you unless it fits all the 5 criteria.
You know that nothing fits in a dressing room. You do know that, don't you?
Well, you haven't worked with me yet.
Not yet, but I'm going to tell all of you something. I've learned so much. Alexandra is phenomenal, and I really want to just commend you on the hard work you've done, the new book, and having a Fifth Avenue atelier. She's right here in town. She's right here in town.
And a private space. So if you're shy.
Well, Alexandra, please, can you just give our listeners your contact information, how they can reach you?
Absolutely, absolutely. So my hub is my virtual home. That is at alexandrastylist.com. I'm also newly on Instagram, so you can follow me at Alexandra Greenawalt on Instagram. And I also would love to offer all of your listeners a complimentary copy of my latest book, Love What You Wear, Mastering Your Style in Multiple Homes. It's available on Amazon, but I'd like to gift all of your audience members a copy. So all you need to do to get your complimentary copy...
Autographed?
Well, it's digital right now, Jeanette.
Oh.
But
Well, this is right here.
the second one. So all you have to do to get a complimentary copy of my latest book is send me an email at AG, that's Alexandra Greenawalt, short for Alexandra Greenawalt, at alexandrastylist.com. That's AG at alexandrastylist.com. And yeah, in about a year from now, Love What You Wear will be in bookstores. You're getting it hot off the presses.
Fantastic. Did you hear that, everybody? I mean, I've had the most fantastic time talking to Alexandra, and I think I need a session with you.
Can't wait.
On your Fifth Avenue atelier, because you've inspired me. I am pro-thong. I don't see myself going to a nudist colony for too many times soon. But I just want
Well, luckily that's not part of the package. Can you imagine? We give you a free Watsu with every styling session.
Well, I would just, that's just got my curiosity, because it must feel very strange to have your clothes on when nobody else does.
Yes.
I mean, it's like being on a
It's
nude
humorous.
beach.
It's humorous. I had a guy come up to me at lunch, and he said to me, sat down, he was totally nude, and I was wearing my dress in the cafe, and he sat down and he said, "Are you new here, miss?" And I was like, how the hell did he know? And then it was like, oh yeah, I'm wearing clothes and no one else is wearing clothes. So yeah, I got outed at the nudist colony as like intruder.
Well, just put on a big pair of sunglasses.
I don't think those are allowed there either. So I'm a big fan of Coolie Bar. Coolie Bar is a wonderful brand that has sun protective clothing. Also, Mott 50 is super stylish stuff. I think it's started by an ex-Vogue editor or something.
M-O-T-T?
M-O-T-T 50. Yes.
And can people order these online?
Absolutely. They've got a great website. Their swim dresses are a big staple in my wardrobe because I'm a ocean swimmer.
Fantastic. Okay, well, that's important as a dermatologist, because I want everyone to be protected, and at the end, I always bring it back to skin.
Oh, yeah. It's like you're going to have your skin for your whole life. I mean, I've been wearing sun protective clothing for at least 10 years. I think I was really early to the game because my mother was so worried about the sun, and I'm very fair.
Well, I'm going to tell you that's great information, and thank you for those recommendations.
You're welcome.
It's been such a pleasure speaking to you and meeting you. It's been wonderful. And thank you for this copy of the book. I know it's going to be a smashing success. And all you listeners, you heard the offer. She's going to give you a book. And you have her contact information, and you can always reach her through me also, where if you have any questions at www.askdrgraf.com. And you can get me on Instagram at #AskDrGraf. And Alexandra will hashtag each other, so
Absolutely.
I'll have all of the information.
Hashtag everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will detox my closet, and I will be accountable. You'll be my accountability
So
part.
we could do before and after. Come back on, and you can say how much lighter you feel.
Well, I will not ever undervalue throwing stuff out. It's just a wonderful feeling. It's detoxing.
Yeah, my client yesterday said, I feel 250 pounds lighter. I'm like, you are.
I want to thank our guest, Alexandra. Thank you so much. Alexandra, you have been absolutely an amazing guest, and I've learned so much from you that I am now going to detox my closet.
Thank you, Jeanette.
Thanks for tuning in to Fab Skin Hot Bodies with your host, Dr. Jeanette Graf.